All right, good morning. Comment allez-vous? Good morning. Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of more than, how many is it? 17,000, 16,000? I've forgotten. 19,000? Hey, it's a lot of us currency traders. We gather every single day approximately this time to synchronize our watches, coordinate our satellites, and put together our strategies and tactics for the day. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your positive energy and your contribution to this community. I appreciate you. You're good people. Let's go. So good morning. Let me remind you that trading is risky. It's not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. But please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Hey, my name is Wayne McDonald. I'm a currency trader. I've been doing this for 20 years and I'm still in love with currency trading. The fine balance between risk and reward, patience and discipline, aggression and defense, I suppose. It's very interesting. People ask me all the time, what do you do? And I'm like, I buy and sell money. And they're like, really? Is that difficult? Well, you have to know absolutely everything and accurately predict the future every single day. Besides that, it's pretty straightforward. So there's an earthquake in Mexico. Really? Boom. You got to know that. One day you're sipping your tea and all of a sudden the Prime Minister of Japan decides not to run for re-election. You got to know that. The safest place on earth is Israel as far as COVID until today. And now there's something bad going on in Israel in regards to COVID. Maybe it's a new variant. Things are not as they once were and never are. So anyways, so that's why we gather as a community. So again, thank you for subscribing. That way we can, as a community, stay in touch of absolutely everything and keep each other alert. El Salvador failed to roll out Bitcoin. Really? I mean, look, yeah. So anyways, that was a big cluster F. And yeah, so I'm sure amateur traders bet a lot of money on that event and got crushed. Bitcoin dropped 10% in about an hour yesterday. Well, I have no sympathy for the devil, and if the devil is, if you were betting on that sort of outcome, well, there you go. It's a double-edged sword. Remember, if you're trying to get rich quick, I'd say most of the time you're going to get poor quick. Billy says it actually dropped about 17. Yeah, okay, yeah, amazing, huh? Well, that's what happens when you gamble. Okay, when you're a snake charmer, you will get bit. So anyways, thank you for being here. Thank you for your involvement. Thank you for your good questions. Thank you for completing the poll. Thank you for being a client of Traders Way. If you have not joined the family at tradersway.com, please do that today. These live streams, they don't cost you money, but they do come with an obligation. That you visit tradersway.com and open up a demo account. What's a big deal? It takes less than 30 seconds. Okay? But you will get to see the back office, of the firm, be able to see how clean and organized it is. You can set up a variable account, a fixed spread account, an ECN account. That's all good. MT4, MT5, C-Trader, a bunch of other things. Hey, very, very, very cool. But ultimately, once you start practicing on your demo account, you're going to see the execution speed is fast. You're going to see that the spreads are narrow. You're going to see the swaps are full. And if you ever need it, world-class customer service and above average good-looking people. Without further ado, let's start our trading day. Hey, I found a boat I want to buy. Check this boat out, man. Check that out. Fell in love with it. I'm telling you, it's 3 million euro. I'm not ready to buy yet, but I'm telling you, I saw the tour of it, and it's perfect for me. Oops, what is that? Perfect for me. So now I got my sights set. Got my dreams focused. Man, that is a beautiful boat. And let's see, 54 votes. That's good. Okay, let's see. And the poll is boom. So you guys are not interested in Bitcoin, not interested in oil. A little bit gold, but not much. Okay, good. Interesting. Right? 1 million to start the engine. Yeah. It's nice. It's got 3 1,000 horsepower diesel engines. Big cats. I'm like, nice. So anyways, okay. So we are in a period where we've faced a couple of days worth of dips. I did buy the dip and survived. So let's see what happens from here. So let's start. Well, I guess let's go over to the indices. Let's start there first and then do commodities. Okay. Great. Yen was strong and has given back. Dollar was strong and given back. So that's kind of the idea of, I want to sell dollar. So I waited for the pullback and then entered and had a stop and then it's rolled over and it's gone the other way. So I might survive. Right? William, how badly do boats depreciate? It comes down to how much you need the money. Okay? And how quick you need the money. So I know someone that bought a 40 million pound yacht for 7 million. And I'm telling you, it was stunning. It was, you're like, 7 million sounds like a lot. Dude, have you seen a $40 million yacht versus a $7 million yacht? They're not the same. And it was the most unique, amazing boat ever, if you want to call it a boat. If you saw it, you'd go, holy crap, what the hell is that thing? Yeah, it was definitely a ship. So it was steel. And it was a good deal. It was a steal of a deal. Anyways, but the guy needed money now. I'm like, now. Okay. So anyways, yeah, so it really depends. All right, so cool. I owned a Sea Ray once, and it was a terrible, terrible, terrible experience. Everything about the experience was bad. Yeah. So anyways. All right, so pound is up, so somebody's buying the pound. Euro's down, but you got to remember dollar was up, so that makes sense to me. And we have an ECB meeting tomorrow in which they're impotent. Aussie was down, but now somebody's buying it. Kiwi was down, but now somebody's buying it. And you see the idea here? Dollar down, yen down, and suddenly money is going somewhere. Okay? That's the interesting part of all of this. Okay? That this didn't really go up until this started coming down. This didn't go up, and this didn't go up until this started coming down. Even Kitty Cat, which has been the dog with fleas as of late, so maybe this is the last one, but just notice, euro came down because dollar was going up. That's something I teach. One of the things I've been staying away from is Swiss franc because for some reason it's been doing the opposite, and I don't trust that move, so I'm just ignoring that. So I'm not even looking. But what I am trying to do is buy pound yen. I am trying to buy Aussie yen. I am trying to buy Kiwi yen. I am trying to buy CAD yen. I am trying to buy pound dollar. I am trying to buy Aussie dollar. I am trying to buy Kiwi dollar. I am trying to sell dollar versus CAD. These are things you know that I'm trying to do. So all is right. I have some doubts whether this will last, but nonetheless, I'm still trying. Okay. Okay. Darko says, yes, you can work from a boat anytime. In the master suite of this boat, which is, for a boat, it's 78. So to be less than an 80 feet is a big deal, but they've designed it so beautifully that, let's see if I draw this correctly. So you got an entrance here, and you got a full-size bed here, and then sort of the outside of the boat. And then they have a wall here, but the outside of the boat is here. So you walk in, and there's closets, and then there's the master head is in here, and a nice big TV, and all windows. But you see this wall? What they did is they built in sort of a dressing area, or I thought for sure an office. So there's like a little desk here, and this, and a nice view of the window. And this is a glass wall right here. Okay. And you can go and you can sit right here, have a little chair. And I thought that's where my 3-screen laptop would be. And I could sit there, and I think I would design it so that you could close this glass door, and I could have basically a quiet little space where I can do my live streams and sit and do my trading and stuff like that in the master. I'm not bothering any of the guests and all that kind of stuff. I can have CNBC going right here, because I think you can see it if you turn. Or maybe I'll put it above the bed. Hey, my wife would like that, eh? Hey, do you mind if I have CNBC above the bed? But anyways, so Darko's like, hey, you could work from this boat. Well, I'm telling you, out of a bajillion boats, this is the first time I've seen something like this, a built-in private office. And I'm like, yep, that's my boat. That's it. But anyways, it was pretty cool. Okay. So anyways, so this is moving the way I want, but I don't trust it yet, but you still have to kind of set it up. Anyways, macro growth. Oh, you know what? I wanted to say something. So let's do fundies for a second. So we've had non-farm payrolls, and I've talked about it. And then I found a new way for people to be wrong, which is good. So I thought I'd make a comment. I was reading about sort of an economic analysis of non-farm payrolls. We only produced 280,000 jobs or whatever it was, way less than 1 million. And they were saying, wow, this really is indicative of where we might be in the business cycle. And if you look at this and you look at that, it shows that maybe the business cycle is closer to the end, and blah, 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 blah. Very, very smart PhDs and quantitative analysts of economic data that really have no common sense. Now, let me ask you, have you ever met a brilliant person that has no common sense? Well, they might be an economist. But anyways, everything they said mathematically and based on a model makes total sense, but that's not the world we live in. And so what they were trying to say is the 280,000 jobs that we added is so far short that it seems like the economy is about to crash, for example. Okay? Ephraim, you just Your welcome email gives you a link so you can do it yourself. That's why I sent you a welcome email. There's a link that says, hey, you can manage your membership here. You can update your credit card there. So do that. Okay. I might not have time today to do it, so you should just do it yourself. That's why it's self-serve. Anyways, so we're going back to this economist that is taking normal math, normal model, applying it to an unusual situation. Okay? And then they're trying to take this iteration and say, in a normal world, this means the economy is slowing and that we are near the end of the business cycle. Of course, this is nonsense. What's different this time? Okay, we added 75% less jobs than some people thought. Does that mean it's the end? Does that mean the growth is going to stop? Is that the problem? The answer is no. So they wrote this paper, did all this math, and they're completely wrong. Once again, it's a supply side issue. We had 8 million jobs advertised. And by the way, I think JOLTS is coming out today, right? 8 million jobs advertised. So why did we only get 280,000 jobs? Why didn't we get 1 million? People didn't take the jobs. That's a supply side issue. Millions and millions of people, and I've covered this multiple times, so I won't go into the big speech, but having gone from the southern tip of the United States to the northern tip of the United States and major cities in between, every single company is hiring. And only 280,000 people took the jobs. We could have had 3 million people take the jobs. We could have had 3 million on non-farm payrolls, but we didn't. But it wasn't from a lack of trying. Even my local business, I told you guys, there's a local warehouse that's advertising on Bloomberg Radio at 6 o'clock in the morning because there might be a forklift driver in my city listening to Bloomberg at 6 o'clock in the morning thinking, you know what, I should probably go back to work. So the brilliant PhDs, they're using a basic assumption. The people will take a job because they're available. And that was the maximum amount of jobs available, 280,000. They're not thinking right. Only 280,000 people took jobs, right? Or let's say of the people that wanted to work, only 280,000 jobs out of 8 million were accepted. But there's still millions and 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 millions of jobs. So clearly, it's not the end of the business cycle. So brilliant mathematicians using very sophisticated models that are stupid. Okay? So be careful. Be careful. But that's why I share here. Now, that's my opinion. They have more education than me. They're smarter than me. They're better at math than me. I don't know jack. I'm just a poor Canadian boy trying to make his way through this thing we call Forex. But you also have to have common sense. Okay? So anyways, let's get going. Okay? Okay? Alton says, yeah, 10 million, right? Cool. So check it out. Maybe just to step up. Remember, now we're in this little battle here. This is WTI, by the way. That's what I'm hoping and even expecting. No, Jim, you can't. PayPal would be for the other group, unless if it's in the portfolio management group, then he could do it from there. If he's in FX Bootcamp, the main site, then he has to use the link I sent him when he joined. to manage his account. Just search your Gmail for welcome to FX Bootcamp. That would probably work. Okay. So this is kind of, I want this, and you remember we were talking about it down here where I'm trying to think ahead based on my fundamental bias, right? Okay. Remember down here we were talking when we were at 60-ish, I said, are we on our way to 50 or are we on our way to 70? Do you guys remember that? This is the third week of August. I said you have to make a simple decision. How do you trade oil? Make one decision. Are we heading down to 50 or are we going up to 70? We call that a bias, right? Yes, Starco. So yes, the day trading group, I believe I've made the site. I've done everything. I've even tested it, but because I had to do some custom code, not all the custom code could work on a test credit card process. So I need a volunteer to sign up and double confirm that it generates your password for you and creates your account for you and then dumps you into the membership area. So I need a guinea pig. But yeah, I did build it. But I can't give everybody the link because it's only for people in the swing trading group or the portfolio manager group. It's sort of a secret add-on. Yeah, that's what I said, Johnny. So I'm looking at the calendar. I'm thinking we should just start on Sunday. So that would be, I think it works out to September 12th to December 10th. Okay, I think that's the actual dates, but yeah, but you're absolutely right. Okay. Okay, so that's very cool. So maybe some up there, and that's going to be based on my global macro expansion idea. And that seems to be in play in the currencies right now, and as well as confirmed by WTI. So that makes me feel good about that. Let's get off of a 5-minute chart. Let's go out to this one. Okay. This is a heavy drop on the swing. Okay. There's sort of your kill point. And now what? Well, you want to check where your monthly is. Okay? You want to check where the monthly is to see if there's a new setup. Okay? So let's do that. We want to go to position trading bullish. Update it. Okay, and where's our buy zone? It has room to fall. Okay. 1777 maybe, 1773. So yes. So we wait. This was a kill switch on the daily. This was a kill switch on the weekly. And now if you're a bull, you're going to look for something like that. Okay, you want dollar weakness, and we currently have it, but I'm not so sure about it, right? I don't think that's happening, Theta. Yeah, it's just seasonality. I told everybody, and I said it again yesterday, in March, I said be prepared for September to open down for the first 3 weeks. Okay, so it's happening just perfectly on schedule. Okay. And right the Wednesday or Thursday before non-farm payrolls, I removed all my my trades, all my live trades, right? I removed them because of two things, and I was clear about this. One, risk about the Fed. Well, actually 3 things. Risk risk about non-farm payrolls is really what I meant to say, but both are true. But also the seasonal move. Now, it's only 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, but nonetheless, that's why I did it. And now I look fairly smart. Okay. But now I'm not just getting down to like this quarter this way, this quarter that way. Now I'm really picking and choosing, 3 weeks up, 2 weeks down, 3 weeks up, but I don't know. That's my alpha, right? Cool. So right now this is elevated and we may have to wait. Okay. Cool. That's the kill switch we talked about. Okay. Bitcoin was down here. So it dropped from 53, really more like 51, down to 43. Okay. And apparently, a tiny Central American, third world country had trouble rolling something out. Well, it doesn't seem that surprising. Not a negative. Well, it's definitely a negative dig at El Salvador, but not at the people. It's just it's a poor country. It doesn't have infrastructure, so rolling stuff out is never going to be smooth. Theta says, so you would focus more on day trading until the end of the year? Nope. Nope. Just for the next couple of weeks. Okay. Let's take a look. Aussie. Okay. Didn't trade this one yesterday. Okay. Because of that. Remember, I want to buy this. Okay. So a bear is going to break through this support. This is what a bear is trying to do. So I can let them do it. It's when they can't that it matters to me. Okay? Because then I start buying on the way up. So I look at this and say, okay, here, right? Remember, I exited before non-farm payrolls. One of the reasons was monthly M3. At least I covered that in the swing trading group. How many people in my swing trading group can confirm that last week, but wait, it was Sunday. Wait, then it was 2 weeks ago. No, then it wasn't the swing trading group. That's all, because we didn't meet Thursday. All right, so we covered this in Forex.Today. So everybody heard this. Back on Wednesday, maybe Thursday, I said I exited trades on multiple pairs because of monthly M3, but also because of the idea of this time of year, very often you see down on yens and dollars. Okay, great. So we all saw that. Great. So then a couple of days later, we get this double top. Should I care? Well, how about the lower low? How about the lower high? How about the lower low? How about the lower high? How about the lower? How many times do you want to keep buying it? Codename says, hey, there's also some issue with blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. By the way, Gary Gensler, the guy you're talking about in charge of the SEC, and now he wants powers over cryptocurrency. He's my professor from MIT that taught me cryptocurrencies. And soon as the class was over, he got hired by the SEC and now is trying to regulate crypto. But he was my lead professor. How cool is that? That's why you go to a good school, man, because that's crazy. My buddy back in the 90s went to Georgetown University in Washington, D.C., and he took a class on international something, business, international diplomacy. I don't know, some international class. And his professor was Madeleine Albright, former Secretary of State for the United States of America. Amazing, right? You're like, amazing. But that's why you go to Georgetown, Because if you're going to learn about governance and being a public servant, I would say you have two choices. Georgetown, or of course, the Kennedy School, the K School at Harvard. But anyways, yeah, Mr. Kennedy, connections, right? So yeah, I can hang out with Gary. Hey, Gary Gensler, what's up, GG? But anyways, so guys, I'm out here because of a potential top. R2, M3. Do you guys remember? I said something like, what do you expect me to do? What am I supposed to do? I know I want it to go higher, but look at it. Look, I can't, right? So anyways, and if this one is an MM3 I'm looking at, it's probably R1, but nonetheless, it's all the same nonsense because of the timing, because the seasonality it carries more, but it did create a top and now it's lower lows and lower highs. Are you buying this? Well, last night in Asia, I was here and I passed on it. Now I did take yen trades. I just didn't take that one. Yeah. Hope says just leave it alone. No, look, Hope, if you really truly care about cryptocurrencies, you want him to take over. Okay? You want more regulation and compliance and oversight of cryptocurrencies because in places like the United States and Europe, there are requirements for institutional investors to invest. You cannot trade tens of billions of dollars of other people's money recklessly. Okay, Hope? You see that? So if they're trading public, pension funds, you can't just throw it at some wild and crazy cryptocurrency. You're just not allowed. Okay? So for institutions, and by the way, that's where the big money is. Okay, yes, there are people trading meme stocks and they got $10,000 accounts and there's a bunch of them. There's 10 million people. I don't even know if it's 10 million, but let's say there's 10 million people at trading meme stocks. They have $10,000 accounts. It's 100 million. 100 million. That's one tiny little hedge fund. And that is so tiny that it's not even considered like a real hedge fund. You just barely limped over 100 million. Dude, you're a child in the hedge fund industry. And you'll never get big because big investors can only invest where other big investors are investing. So you'll never get there. So something like probably 80% of the money are in the top 10 firms, right? So anyways, for those big investors that can drop billions of dollars, they can't invest until it's properly regulated. Little things like custody is an issue, okay? And so that all has to be ironed out. You want a guy like Gary Gensler, who also ran the National Futures Association, indirectly because he ran the CFTC. You want him to go out and iron out these wrinkles so that in 5 or 6 or 7 years from now, these large institutional investors could put real money behind it. Okay? Now, Mahias is like, you still don't get crypto. I understand, dude. And I understand what you're saying, but now you have to understand the other side of it. Okay? You have to, if you want it to become legit, big, mainstream, where it's used, okay? It's like saying you shouldn't use the internet because it's all porn and whatnot, okay? Look, right now, it's still, I know, it's not quite, I mean, crypto's getting closer and closer and closer to mainstream, but there's still like this idea that it's all drug dealers and terrorists, sending money around. So we got to get past that. Okay. And we got to get, if you want to have blockchain be part of everyone's everyday life, then these things need to happen. Okay. Okay. That's all. Otherwise, it'll always stay sort of a thing, a weird thing that, weird people do. Okay. So anyways, so I look at that and that looks like it's falling technically, but fundamentally I want it to go up. So I wait. Mr. Kennedy, that is exactly why they should use the internet. Yeah. Well, if it's legal. Okay. But it's funny though, like I was listening to an interview about AllFans, and there's a lot of people on AllFans are using it because you can pay a woman $12 a month and she'll show you her boobs. Okay. And they tried to shut that down, and then they're like, no. So now you can pay it back, so whatever. Okay. Well, it was interesting because they were talking about how credit card processors will very often ban sites like this because it might be childhood porn. But what percentage of Visa transactions are child porn? Like what, 0.00001%? So it's a good noble cause, but that doesn't make any sense. But other people are arguing like, you can pay the $12. She doesn't mind showing you her boobs and you want to pay for it. Like, what's the big deal? It's consensual. No one's getting hurt. It's not weird, whatever. Who says it's weird? So the internet is it's an interesting process as it grows and matures and stuff. Right. Because 20 years ago, that would have been something pretty new to have nudie pictures on the internet. And now it's just like a live stream on YouTube, and you just, but the interesting thing is the woman is controlling her own destiny. It's sort of like in Australia. I think brothels are legal in Australia, but only a woman can own a brothel, which I think is an interesting twist, right? So, hey man, it's up to her. She doesn't have to pay 19 other men for the right to take her top off. So anyways, so whatever, let's move on. CAD has been a dog with fleas, so I skipped that one. And once again, you can see, but I'm hoping for a change. And notice this. Okay. Chrissy says OnlyFans, boomer. It's funny. I heard of OnlyFans a couple of years ago when I was setting up. I was looking at like, can I use it as a membership site? Is it like that other one that YouTubers use where fans? So anyways, I looked at it and I'm like, eh. And apparently since then, because of COVID, it turned into an adult site. So I'm like, So, but boomer, I don't know. Okay. Okay. So the question is it turning? Is this good enough? Is this 78 good enough? So some of the things I need to decide now is how do I play it next? Okay. Remember though, CAD didn't do this. Right? And Aussie, not quite, but are other things doing this? So this is interesting. Now, Kiwi's been a laggard this year, but maybe it's catching up because it's behaving better. So the thing is, it's not a perfect pivot, but I don't really care about perfect pivots. How about a psych level? So we call that 78, and that seems to be working. The next part is, Can I get a higher high? Okay. So maybe have it go up to 78.50 and then come by and buy a dip. So that might be something I do later today or tomorrow. Catch a little Asia fade. Euro. Whoa. Did I trade this one? No, I don't think so. I think I did pound. Anyways, hanging out nomad's land. Okay. Am I worried about a double top? Oh, for sure. Okay. So I just got to watch this level for now. That's all. So skip that one. Pound. And this isn't the one I'm talking about, of course, but this is the one we did a couple of days ago. And golly, it's almost exactly the same trade as on my other account, which is funny, actually. 2 different times, same price, though. That is funny. It must be. Let me change this. Let's do to a day trade. Day trade bullish. Yeah. All right. So I'm nervous, of course, that this is no longer bullish. Yeah. But one of the things I'm trying to teach you is if you have proper leverage levels, proper lot sizes, that you can maintain a bigger point of view, assume some risk because you can't get reward without risk. So it's knowing when you're taking sort of a dangerous, mediocre risk versus, I guess, mediocre level of risk versus a dangerous level of risk. Okay, and so the thought process on this one, this is where I was in Asia last night. Okay, and I'm looking at this and I say, ooh, that's interesting. And if I remember correctly, this is a weekly pivot. If I remember correctly, but remember that was a holiday. Okay, so. Right? And by the way, there's the Asian session. Beautiful. So I see that, but I'm up here. Okay? What would Wayne do? WWWD. Okay? And I threw down a limit order either here or here. I can't remember. So about there. Okay? That's that. Now, it's dangerous, huh? Yeah, because we had this move and then failure to head up. And on a daily chart, we're stepping down. Okay, so let me draw it this way in a slightly different color. This way. Okay, but that's short run. I understand the seasonality, and you could, if you look at the other pairs, they had the solid resistance on top. I understand that. I understand it was a moderate level of risk. But I can't watch. I can't just sit and do nothing. Okay? So anyway, so there's short run, but what's my long run? My long run is take it north, that it's going to go higher. So I got to try, but then what's the next step is, when do you stop trying? Okay? Well, here's a holiday. Here's post-holiday. And now maybe with this, business as usual. So I took a day trade. Okay? I put a day trade level stop. And now I try. Okay, that's the thing. Try for this. If that doesn't work out, then I'm going to lose a little bit of money. Okay? And it's really to the tune of 1/3 of 1/3%. Okay. All right. But there has to be a kill switch. I don't remember the other one. I have to look later. There was one other one. Aussie? No, I don't think it was Aussie. Maybe it was Kiwi. Must have been a dollar pair. Anyways, don't remember the other one. All right, cool. But anyways, going back to this is our sample trade we made days ago. I don't remember what we were doing, but at the very least, maybe this is an example of a decent level of stop. Okay. Yeah, Longster says, hey, I'm very much open to being short-term short on all these commodity pairs until the Fed. Absolutely, totally. It's probably the right thing. And that's kind of what I'm saying here, actually, Longster. I'm saying for now, I'm sticking with the long term, understanding my vulnerability, because if it does this, then I may trade, right, short-term short until I can get the long-term long again. But I don't want to do it too quickly. I don't want to overtrade. So I can tell you, I did tell you, I was clearly concerned about downward pressure. Oops. Right there. Okay. Definitely. I spoke about it over and over and over and over and over again. Downward pressure, very, very likely to happen. But what I don't want to do is get into this psyche of that I'm so smart and I'm so skilled that I can pick these tops and bottoms. Now, I can talk about it, but it's different about trading it too, right? Where you're like, oh yeah, man, I'm a buyer here. Now I'm a seller here. And then, whoa. Because what'll happen is you're going to start believing your own bullshit. And you're going to overtrade. And what'll happen is you'll sell uptrends that you predicted and you'll buy downtrends that you're going to just simply overtrade because you think you know the market so well that you're smarter than it. And I'm trying to stay confident yet open-minded. Another way of saying, you have to be confident but modest, it's a tricky thing. So it's more like I'd rather try to say take some profit here and then continue doing what I need to do in the long run. But at least I took risk off the table. So one of the things I talked about on Sunday night is, so we're Wednesday, Tuesday. So we were here, right? We were here. And I said, look, I understand massive risk. This is why I'm already out. It took guts to get out of something that produced so well for 2 weeks straight. I think that takes discipline. Okay? But do you now stop being a bull? And the answer was no, because on a 4-hour, let me zoom back in. On a 4-hour, it was still very clearly, technically bullish. You got to remember, we were here. This was Friday. This is Monday. Why the hell would you sell that? There's something terribly wrong with you. Well, you have a leading indicator up here probably, like there were very, very key pivot points that you could use as a leading indicator. But if you ask me, even aggressive bears should not have sold until here. So I would never have sold here. It was still technically bullish. So you could try. And maybe that's what I did here. Maybe that's this trade. Okay? Where we were here and I said, well, at the very least, maybe you buy it here. That's probably what I did. Because this, if I measure that correctly, is 33 pips. So you buy it on Sunday, or I dropped the trade on Sunday, entered it Monday, and then Tuesday, And here it is Wednesday, and I'm still in a 33 pip trade. Dude, on pound yen, I got chunks of corn bigger than that. How many people have stayed in a pound yen losing trade for 3 days but never got knocked out with a 33 pip stop? That's crazy, unbelievable. But maybe it's the long-term upward pressure. Maybe this was profit taking. And maybe this is re-enter. Okay? I don't know. But lower than this, and there's a good reason the stop's there, lower than that, I'm not interested in being a bull for a while. But the point is, at the time, we saw the risk, and we talked about that. In the swing trading group on Sunday, I'm like, look, we all see the risk, and the importance here is you see the risk. That there would have been a time where you didn't see the risk. So you manage it the way you feel is most appropriate. Maybe you move your stop from here, or you exit up here. Well, I exited. Great. So now what? Do you stop being a bull just because there's resistance? Well, if you're afraid of resistance, then you're not a bull. Think about it. Now, maybe you should address the risk, but you can't be afraid of risk because, resistance, because there's always going to be resistance. If you're a bull, you have to say, well, I'm a bull. We're going to break resistance. But if this 21 rolls over, I need to adjust my enthusiasm. And by the way, if you were in one of my webinars, let's just say 15 years ago, this is the exact message I was preaching then. Okay, this market is still technically bullish. Here, there was still reason for aggression. You were bullish and aggressive because we were still above the 21. Okay? So there's no reason to sell, even if you see resistance. Just notice that if it doesn't break resistance, then the market conditions will change. And this is what the 55 tells us. Now you're bullish and conservative. Okay, and I can't add more trades. One of the things I do when I become conservative is I don't add more trades. I can't add more trades until this is profitable. It's not profitable. I still have risk on the table. Why would I add more risk? I certainly don't believe in dollar cost averaging. Okay? So I look at this and I say, oh, I'm still bullish, but I've lost my aggression. It's in the day trading course, Darko. Okay? Now, what happens if it breaks the 55 and does this? Okay? I'm not aggressive, I'm not conservative, I'm not a bull. Or I'm a bull, but the market conditions are not bullish. So I need to exit with grace, with style and grace. I say thank you, pound yen, for the opportunity. I appreciate that. In fact, being in the trade for 3 days makes me really feel good about the experience that I had. But right now, I'm not going to be a market participant, but I look forward to buying you again some point in the future. Thank you, pound yen. Okay. Did I get any swing trader volunteers to try the new day trading site? I thought I saw somebody. I wasn't sure who it was. Yeah, awesome. Can you send me an email and I'll send you the link? I just don't want swing traders, non-portfolio managers signing up. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, Jim, I think the worst case scenario, it'll sign you up and it'll say, oh, you can log in. Here's your email, right? Here's your ID, and the ID part works. And here's your password. And it'll say squiggly, password, squiggly. And you're like, wait, that's not the password. That's a placeholder. And so it might give you a placeholder for a password. So anyways, yeah, and charge you $3,000. No, it's definitely not going to do that. Cool. Yeah, guys, if you want, send me an email, and I'll send you the link. All right. Cool. Thank you. All right. Yeah. So here we are. Just that's that. So I think I made it clear. I'm vulnerable, but I was willing to take that risk. There's a difference between, sort of that kind of setup and trading scared. And one of the things I'm trying to teach you is how to not trade scared. But also, so here's the thing, and I'll move on. Many people deal with their fear by looking for perfect setups. Do you see how that is also a fallacy? How many people here think they can have a successful career looking for perfection, only taking perfect trades? What'll happen is you'll make 22 trades a year. Well, you better put giant lot sizes on them. Well, and that's risky too, right? So there's a difference. And so one of the things I try to teach is if you are confident in the research that you've done, and the only way you can have true confidence is that you've done the work. You've really done your research. You have a solid bias. You really understand what you want to do. Now, maybe you don't have market conditions for it yet, but maybe they're being created. But you definitely know what you intend to do and why. So when you have reasonable conditions, you trade because you want to be in the trade. You're not looking for 100% winners, but your winners should be bigger than your losers. So one winner, for example, could pay for 6 losers or 3 losers. Let's say somewhere between 3 and 9 losers. Okay? If you're doing a 333, you can be wrong 9 times out of 10 and break even. Okay? So you can't be that bad. But then you say to me, well, Wayne, what do you mean a trade worth 333 pips? That's ridiculous. Well, if that's true, then your trading's ridiculous. Now, I'm not saying they're all going to be 333, but you can't even plan that on a pound yen? Dude, that's one good week. One good week. You're like, Wayne, well, I'm never in my trade more than a day. Well, there you go. You can't do a 333. So what do you go for? 33.99 on pound yen? That's a pissy little day trade. Well, at least that's a 3-to-1. Okay, good. But that's just a day trade. So you're a day trader. Good. Okay. That's a good business. That you can run a good business, but it's every day. If you take a day off, it ain't going to work. But this is why I travel all the time with my laptops. Because that kind of trading you have to do all the time. I don't think you'll get huge money, but you'll do very well, especially if you're good, right? So if 3 out of 5 trades, so 6 trades out of 10, 60%. Yeah, if you got 60% winners and your winners are 3 times bigger than your losers, yeah, you got yourself a nice career. Okay? But I'm trying to add to that. This is what I'm trying to teach, is if you add your day trading as a supplement to your swing trading, okay, then you got tactics aligned with strategy. Now, and you're like, well, what's the difference? Right? You're thinking, well, what he's saying is you create a bias and then you day trade in the direction of the bias. Well, let's take that further. If you knew this is worth, I'll just pick a number, 333 pips to maybe 555 pips. Because now you're looking out 3 to 6 weeks in advance. You're like, well, I think this could rally for 3 to 6 weeks, a month and a half, maybe more. So you're like, well, if that happened, let's say there's 300 to the pivot profit zone on the monthly, plus then you'd say, well, that would create a positive move, and then the next one would be higher than that. So you're like, I think if this, for the next 6 weeks, pound yen will rally 555 pips. Potential. It's a potential idea. Now, if your day trading tactically is good, couldn't you like buy here, then buy here, and then buy here, and buy here? And the difference is, by the time you get closer to the 555 move 6 weeks down the road, you have 26 trades open. Which one makes more money? The day trading, 99 pips at a time, right? 99 out. Then you wait for the next pullback, and then 99, wait for the next pullback, 99. So at the end of 6 weeks, you got 600 pips. Or, okay, and this one, at the end of 6 weeks, you got 6,000 pips. What's the difference? Nothing, except you're not taking profit because you have a better strategy. It's not just bias, but you know it's going to do this based on your research, and you have the confidence to take trades and let them run. And the difference will be 600 pips profit versus 6,000. Okay? Okay. Cool. I love trading, man. This is cool. Okay. Okay. So I hope this holds. I don't think it will, but I'm okay with testing the fence. Okay. Like, look at, it's not terrible. It's not good, but it's not terrible. Okay. If it makes another lower low, then it confirms. Especially if it's down here at 151, it confirms I don't want to be a bull anymore. Okay. So in my book, it'll do this. It'll drop 100 pips, take me out, and I lose 33. That's okay. It's pound yen, for crying out loud. That's okay. Or it does this. And then I look smart. I look taller. Oh, hey, by the way, looking smart, looking taller. Check this out. Today, I officially have lost 10 pounds. Whoa! Oh my God. Yeah, it's true. I lost 10 pounds. Holy smokes. Yeah, it's today I weighed myself, boom, lost 2 pounds last week. So in about a month, maybe a month and a half, I've lost 10 pounds. Yeah. Yeah. This little coffee is 20% of my daily intake of fat. But anyways, thank you. Thank you. It's good. It's a good sign. I'm going in the right direction. Am I gymming? So am I going to the gym? Well, I've been to the gym twice in the month that I lost weight, which is twice more than I went in the last 3 years. I did a lot of stretching, but no. And did I lose 10 pounds because of Bulletproof? No. I went like a week eating only swordfish for lunch. No, it's one of these things I decided to, I guess. I don't know. I still drink a half a bottle of wine a day, probably more. So that it ain't that. I eat healthy. Hope says I didn't think he was a fatty though. Here's what it was. For my BMI, my body mass index. So for someone my height, I was about 10 pounds overweight. Yeah. So in approximately the last month, I went from 188 to 178. So I think I'd have to look it up on because I track everything, right? So I think I was like 188.6 and now I was 178.1. I'm almost down, I'm getting down there anyways. Yeah. Okay. So anyways. Mr. Kennedy says, Wayne, do you think someone should avoid certain trade pairs based on account size? No. What I recommend in my book is only trade the USD. Okay. That's where I advise people, Mr. Kennedy. I think the worst thing you can do is only trade one pair. That's the biggest mistake. And then the next one is trade 27 pairs. That's also a mistake. Jean-Guy says it was operating the heavy equipment over the weekend. No, but that was fun. I have a hammer coming in from somewhere. It should be arriving today. So the next couple of days I should be hammering with my excavator. Anyways. So, okay. So, for example, if you only trade one pair, what's the likelihood? So let's say pound yen. I'm looking at pound yen right now, right? Great British pound yen. Okay. What are the chances today that the pound is strong or strongest and yen is the weakest? What are the odds? Because you could have pound sideways a lot, yen sideways a lot. You could have pound strong and yen strong. You could have pound weak and yen weak. Or you can get pound strong and yen weak. Okay? Or you can get pound weak and yen strong. And then I look at this and say, if you're a new trader, what's your ability, even if you waited for this, to connect this or connect this? Meaning you're smart enough to know when the pound is strong and the yen is weak, so you buy it, or you know that the pound is weak and the yen is strong and you sell it. And I'd say that's a difficult enough equation that many amateur traders can't do that. But to get this one situation together out of all these possibilities is pretty rare. And it's not just that there's like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, there's 6 or 7 different combinations. It's that you have to also get the time of it. So you might not be trading the right time of day because you might have a stupid day job or whatever, or you're trading late in one session or in the middle of this other session. And there's just so many things that can go wrong. Where what I teach is I say, how about you start with US dollar and you flip a coin and it says you either buy it or you either sell it. We call that bias. And you flip a coin and it says you can only buy it. Okay, great. Now you look at pound today. Okay, so you look at pound today. Is pound strong or weak? It's strong. All right, strong versus strong, you don't buy it. Is euro strong today or weak today? It's weak. Oh, so you might be able to sell euro dollar. Okay, so you put that as a maybe. And you go through, okay, and this is, by the way, this is exactly how I started. I'd spend an hour a day doing the math before I even looked at a pair. Okay, so anyways, you might get to a situation where today you're only selling euro dollar and so on and so forth, but you have many different pairs to analyze and you have one bias. You can only buy dollar. So you simply look at all the other currency pairs and say, which one today is weak? Which is really helpful to have an indice because now you can cheat and you don't even have to do the work or understand the math. But you could say, well, I can only buy dollar, so I can sell euro. I can buy dollar versus Swiss franc. Or I can sell euro dollar. You see? Done. Enough said. Over. But most amateur traders just put crap to crap and they expect gold to come out. Oh, well, but the MACD told me. Uh-huh. Okay. Because remember, no matter if you take Kiwi versus Aussie and you trade a MACD, it's still a bad trade, no matter how good your MACD is. TT says, by the way, VIX is going up. Of course it is. We talked about it in the second week of August. You guys remember that? I said, do you want free money? Buy the VIX. Done. Okay, of course it's going up. Why wouldn't it? Okay. Yeah. So you put crap to crap, you're not going to get gold. Those nuggets are corn, man. That's corn nuggets. So I'm done. I'm spent. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May our profits be above average. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for being in my life. Thank you for leaving comments. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for being a client to tradersway.com. Thank you for everything you do. Your positive energy and your spirit is appreciated in my life. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Bye.